We now join this court case already in progress. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Will this be her final testimony? Short and sweet. Moving the body. Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there's a way to cross a burning bridge? So it was just a misunderstanding, I see. This is the photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident. Huh. Certainly was burned down to a crisp. And one of the suspension wires is gone. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Clearly it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition. So get the Dusky Bridge photo. Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder. That's right. I'm only going to say it one more time. It is only human to err. And only humans can spot the errors of our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. Alright, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. Moving the body. So we're going to start with the following. Hold it! Well, I don't see there couldn't be a way across. Mr. Wright, don't you think that sounds a bit silly? A dead body crossing a burning bridge? Did anyone actually witness such a thing? If there was, I don't think you'd call someone like that a witness. After all, a dream isn't the same as actually seeing something. I've come all this way, so I owe it to everyone to figure this out. But how do you transport a body across a burning bridge? Even if I don't have the exact answer yet, that's okay. I'll start by examining all of my evidence and see where that takes me. I've got to be like a shark. If I don't keep moving, I'm good as dead. In this case, I'd like to present the following. I know that's going to make a sense, but objection. It's not going to make a difference. But I'm going to say it. Objection! A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. What? 10. You're saying it's impossible. Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Who is it? Who is this witness? I can't chicken out here. I gotta keep on the attack. And go! 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 Miss Elise Dunham's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Laurice Dunham. Really?
Highly gifted apprentice?
Remember what he said in his testimony. That night he was at the mountain shack, Emily Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Shit up, brick. Are you serious? Today is not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument. Yeah, the surgeon looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Well, that's right. There's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything? Yes, I'm pretty sure it does. I'm going to prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with the sketch? Upside down. Why did Godo say that? Alright, then let's hear the defense theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show? I don't think old Whiskerface is going to forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix. Look carefully and think it over. The sketch drawn by Louise Dunham is a complete contradiction. Something is obviously funny about the sketch. I'm no art critic, but even I can see that. No. That's not what I mean, Your Honor. Laurice Dunham stated it over and over that this sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality? This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger pointing thing again. Oh, trite, what exactly contradicts reality as we know it? Take that! It's this wire connected to the bridge. The wire? Is that the thing that contradicts reality? It is indeed. Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that will point out how the sketch contradicts reality. Gladly. Here. Take that! That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct? Yes. Now, compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge, Chompa Jehoshaphat! The wires are below the guard wires. Order! 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 The sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong? Perhaps he just drew it wrong. Either way, it just sounds like you're just wrong. With someone like Lottie's, I admit, a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason? Are you saying you know the answer to that? Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Lottie was doing when he witnessed this event? He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and waited, and finally he lay down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now, ponder what sort of position Larry must have been in at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did. He was lying on his back. I can't see how it relates. But it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead down. No way. Lottie Stunham witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down. So then, the sketch should actually... I think you finally get it, Yana. The correct way to view Laurie Dunham's sketch is like this. You flip it over. This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum. Order, order, order! Of all the things to say, a pendulum! The bridge was burning to a crisp. There's no way to get across it. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. It's where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done. Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. Yes, that sounds right. In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead. The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident. So it doesn't make sense that the criminal would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, the criminal... They didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of the criminal. What? I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there. In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had the rope on hand to create the pendulum? Again. This. And the meaning of this is, if you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there, in front of your glorious beard. This is one of the wires from the bridge! When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise Dunham's body. Because there was simply no other way to move the body. Damn, man. Mr. Godo? It seems that Mr. Godo is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of a rope being readily available are very high. So I suppose that's not an impossibility after all. Possible, impossible. That's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Wright, I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum? Yeah. Found on outcropping near Dusky Bridge, has blood on it, came from the victim's death. There you go. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it's the one that was in front of the inner temple. So then that was the spot where the criminal... Yes, precisely. Now, let's consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately at this point. Did you say drop? Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. What? What makes you think something like that happened? Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. What kind of evidence? Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet, That's most likely the height difference between the two sites. The body overswung due to forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. Then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. That's... Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal is the one that came off Miss Elise Dunham's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found. Indeed, I believe it's already marked on this overhead map. The crystal was found precisely, Your Honor, in the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed. This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You've provided us with a way the body could have been moved that night. Impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Mr. Wright, I thought this cold coffee might help you cool down. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Godo? 17. We don't care anymore. That was a dark and bitter guess you bet you tried. But you forgot about one thing. Oh, and what would that be? The aroma. Huh? A coffee's most reliable accomplice is deep and profound aroma. The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffeenese. Can you elaborate a bit more? the criminal had sent the body to the other side, like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice laying in wait to catch it. An accomplice! The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So, who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Wright? Mr. Godo is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do. Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakor Temple without an accomplice. Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body on the Hazakor Temple side? Well, take that! It can only be you, Sister Ides. Huh? But I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad black sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Right. Were you even listening to the witness testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath. I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Godo? This witness was also seen at Hazakor Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim. Strange indeed. It's almost as if on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Sister Ides, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using the sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnout bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred. Something you should have already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help, so you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really eyewitness to be dead with. What? How could you say that, Mr. Wright? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying that this witness isn't Ides of Hazakor Temple? Are you serious, Wright? You mean this woman is... There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach during this trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand. Her real name is... Dalia Hawthorne! I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time. Dalia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? Sister Ides had a twin sister. And you're looking at her. Miss Dalia Bitch Hawthorne. That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. It's just your imagination, perhaps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dalia Hawthorne. Oh yes, I remember now. that case 5 years ago.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
The honor's all mine!
No, the honor's on mine. But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month. So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom. What? Order!
Wait a moment. How can you... My sister, she's already dead. What kind of...
You, of all people, should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Kurain channeling technique flows within that body.
The Kurain channeling technique?
Now, where have I heard that? That's right. You're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium.
Bonas. What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite possible.
You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was. Well, if you're going to put things that way, then yes. We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens. Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written here in these instructions.
What's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of your plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple. It's true. Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means the Iris that was at the dinner was the real Iris. And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia bitch Hawthorne. You even know what you're saying, Wright. This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found the plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris. What? Calm down and remember what you know about the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. It was later that the body was moved by pendulum. That's right. Naturally, that would mean that the Iris was received. Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far? Yes. After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There, they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center. Yes, I suppose. Can't deny that. Thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced. But something still seems off. Way off. I'm still not convinced that the iris here is the same one from the other night. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switch places. Switch places! To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witness' identity, we can't continue with this trial. Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere. Well, Mr. Wright. Since the time she was arrested at Hazuko Temple, have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne? There was one. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. Oh, explain yourself. Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris' whereabouts were unknown. Unknown. What do you mean? What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised. Well, who was it? Who would give a murder suspect time to move about freely like that? I'm sorry. I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris the chance to move freely about was... well... Miles Edgeworth. Old friend, said to be #1 at the DA office, studies foreign judicial systems now. Take that! This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it? Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday. Was there not? An earthquake? Earthquake! Oh my goodness, the inner temple! This kind of tremor might... How could have... She fled. She escaped. We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne. That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No judge in his right mind would consider the idea of spirit channeling and... Be quiet. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge. Listen to that! That voice! Guess I'll have to ask again. Ding! Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for a name and profession. That's one of my rules. Dahlia Hawthorne. And my current profession? Permanently retired. So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me. What is going on here? Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again. And I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time, I'll end it. For her and for myself. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stop right here. And in the next part, the bitch is back. Stay tuned. More Phoenix Wright after this.